सरस्वते नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवके परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Yes, namaste. So we are continuing our journey into the Gita talks. We saw a brief introduction on the Gita, the importance of the divine teacher and the human disciple. And now we are going to go into what is the core of the message that is there in the Gita. It is in this dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna that a lot of life's questions are answered. The life's questions of Arjuna as well as our own lives. This particular topic for today is swimming against the tide with Krishna. How many of us have this experience of swimming against the tide? Anybody?
No, Ji.
Yeah, Vijayaji? Yes, please.
No, Ji. Swimming against the tide, not right.
Sorry, Ji, I couldn't hear you.
No, not swimming against the tide.
Okay.
I've not tried, so I know, but it is difficult.
No, but there's a metaphorical aspect, the swimming against the tide of life.
वो तो रोज रोज होती है.
रोज रोज होता है. Where does this happen? That is what we want to see, Vijayaji.
Gee, this week's sloka, I've been constantly 48 hours I tried. So I'm
Yeah.
always swimming against the tide. Had I been swimming not against the tide, it would have been very easy. I just wrote only 4 points in the thing just to keep it short. I
हाँ.
could see at least 7 to 8 times in an hour that I think I'm a doer, which is literally going against the tide.
हाँ.
It's just completely draining. But the moment I think something like Hanumanji comes to my mind, anything and
Okay.
everything he does, he says, because I'm a Hanuman, because I'm a Ram Bhakta, I am able to do. I have listened or I've read shlokas where Hanumanji used to say that. I was thinking, why every time this Bhakta keeps telling? But after this 2 days encounter, I understand
हाँ.
how much a big, I would say, Raksha it is. To every moment you remember Dev's name and you are trading or what, you are swimming again, with him.
हाँ.
I
Because
mean,
I think, yes, yes, Vijayji, that is wonderful. And yes, yeah,
sorry if I was confusing. I am just
no, no,
talking a
not
little bit over.
confusing. Not at all, not at all. But a very nice example also of our great Rudra, our Hanumana. How Jai Sri Ram was his mantra, which allowed him to carry
Do
the great
anything
mountain.
because he
Yes,
thought he was
yes.
not the doer.
That is an interesting point Vijayaji is sharing. And that is something which in the Gita, Krishna keeps emphasizing to Arjuna, where sarva karma phala tyaga,
Tyaga.
or elsewhere he says sarvarambha parityagi. This aspect of tyaga of what? Of the doership. Means you are supposed to do the action. Krishna says karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachanam. You are supposed to do the action but not have the doership. But there was an interesting thing you said, Vijayaji. You said it was quite easy to go with the tide.
Yes, Ji. The moment I
What does
felt,
that mean? Why is it easy to go with the tide in the sense?
I don't know, because of the 2 days ordeal, or rather, even today, it is today is Ekadasi. Usually
Okay.
on Ekadasi, my upvasa is going with God. I don't know that happens. So today, when I think
Your
that,
upvasa, you mean the fast, isn't it upvas, no?
yes, Ji,
Okay.
fasting.
You take a
Ekadasi,
nirjali upvas or how is it? What type of upvas do you
Ji,
follow?
Nirjal.
Nirjala upvas. Oh, and you do your works also.
Yes, Ji. Most of the times
Okay.
I go for training. Sometimes, if God willing, I will try to postpone it. I make sure that
Okay.
I don't have anything else other than Smarana doing my own work on that particular day. But
Okay, Ji.
by Parivas, God blessings, Kachima Parivas blessings, I was told to do this from for the past 10 years.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So whenever I
Well
do
said.
that, I mean, every time I tell the people around me who think that is a big thing that I'm doing, I
Mm.
tell them definitely it is not, because I'm an acidity patient. The day before I got the dream from Kanchipuriva, acidity to the
Okay.
acute state that at 8 o'clock, if I'm not given breakfast, that's it. People around me has gone. So
Uh-huh.
I mean, it just turned around Nirjala in one day. Is it definitely not possible? It's not my
Okay.
thing at all. So I used to tell that is the starting point. But because of this sloka that I've been writing, I've been thinking about it. But the moment I am aware that I'm just thinking about someone who is doing and I'm just a part of it, it becomes very difficult. Ji. I mean, from my opinion, whatever I have gone through because of my
Mm.
low thing. I know it becomes very difficult. I feel like my head is aching, very, very tensed
Okay.
and all. But the moment I feel someone is there with me who will take care, I mean, it feels really good. I know that's a mixed
Okay.
emotion I'm going through. Maybe another few more days I will try to write about it. But
Right, Jay.
going towards tide is just thinking about Krishna, nothing else.
You mean against the tide, isn't it, Jay?
I mean, when
With
you are
Krishna.
thinking about Krishna, when you are thinking
Yeah.
that He is the one, you're going with them, you feel so confident. And I feel I'm going towards
You get
the
a
right
strength.
tide.
You go towards Krishna, but thinking of him gives the strength to go against the tide. We'll just look at going
Sure,
against the
Ji.
tide in the sense is if you see there is always the easy option, isn't it? The easy path many times. Like Vijayaji just talked about a Nirjala Upvas. How easy is it to break the Upvas? It's so easy. A glass of water can be just picked up. And yet she is doing it for some particular reason. She is getting the joy. She is getting a kind of experience. She has to sometimes, probably what Madam said, that she has to train students or train. Uh, you train children or adults also, isn't it, Vijay?
Ji, I'm a corporate trainer, mostly
Corporate trainer,
adults.
mostly
Very,
adults.
yeah, once or
Yeah.
twice I have trained children, but otherwise only
Mostly it
adults.
is adults only. So Vijayaji is training these adults also. They are not going to say, "Ah, why did you take? You can take a glass of water in between your work." No, she's not leaving her duty, but she has got a. It is almost like a diksha for her. Her guru has come through a vision in her dream. Mahaparivar has indicated, and it again changed her entire constitution. But she has been able to go ahead, and she is experiencing certain things. I think like this, we also go through different moments where it's always easy to do something, and yet we choose something which is difficult. Anybody else would like to share certain moments like that where you've taken the, what we can say, a little difficult path? Anybody? And why do we need to take that path also? If anybody would like to just share before we go in further into the Gita. Anyone? It happened. Yes.
And we need to take that path because we understand that it is beyond, something is beyond us. And we need to take that ordeal to know who we are and what are our needs and what are the stoppers. And we will be
Okay.
able to see a different version of ourselves.
We challenge
And
ourselves, isn't it? When we challenge ourselves, we become better. We evolve, isn't it?
definitely, Ji, we evolve when I understand something else is there beyond our thoughts. Whatever we katradhu kaiman alavu in Tamil we say, whatever I mean, whatever we thought was right, but now something else is also there which I wasn't unaware. So that
Mm.
horizon opens up when you do something that is challenging.
Okay, so they you open up a new horizon. You are able to see certain things which are otherwise not in your own line of vision, only through these challenges.
Yes, Ji.
Now, how many of us feel that sometimes it is God only who is throwing these problems at us? We get very annoyed, isn't it, when we face certain difficulties? At that time, have how many times have you felt that it is the divine only who has placed those difficulties? On the spiritual path, they say, many people say the spiritual path, it is actually a path against the tide only, isn't it? And
Yes,
there are so
Shishruji.
many difficulties. Yes, Alpana ji,
Yeah.
please tell me. Yes, ji.
Yeah, I mean, the same kind of problems keep on coming again and again and again, and then you realize there is some pattern and somebody wants us to learn something. Uh,
Okay.
which we are like trying to understand ki what exactly is the lesson that I have to learn. At least that is my experience. Because
Okay.
similar kind of problems come again, and and then I understand ki this is the his plan, that I need to learn something, and
Okay.
I'm not able to catch it the way he wants me to. Probably, yeah. This is my
Okay.
experience.
And when you identify it as his plan, does it give a bit of solace in
Yeah, yeah,
challenging times?
definitely. It is. I smile and laugh, and I said, "Okay, now, yes, I have to roll up my sleeves and I try think and sit down and
Ah,
understand what exactly is the lesson for me in this whole situation or whatever it is, the
G.
experience." But then sometimes you learn, but then you forget it also after some time. That is why I think the same thing keep on repeating in different ways in different
Yeah. So
situations. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So this, but again, when we are taking the side of the divine, when we are conscious of the divine, the challenges don't look so great.
No, no, they
When
become a very enjoyable journey,
uh,
actually. See, that
so so
problems will
face.
always remain. There will be no day when there is no problem. That first you have to accept, which I have accepted. So, because he's only trying to make you learn something, which he
G.
wants you to be the person. Yeah. So this is what I accept with complete grace. कि जो है वो
Okay.
है. Yeah.
So the problems remain, but they don't remain so problematic when you are having what we call smarana, isn't it, Chief?
Yes, yes.
This
Smarana
is
is
this is
what is
something.
important.
This is so important that maybe sometimes because maybe I'm sitting and smiling and talking about problem, but when problem does come at our line, when we face it, we sometimes don't find anything to smile about. Sometimes our whole world becomes upside down. Our own understanding, what we know, what we have. We all have a particular, no matter a person says, I'm not a philosophy student or I don't care about philosophy. Everybody has a philosophy of life which they have learned from life experience. And suddenly something comes to completely break it or shake it. And at that time you feel helpless. You feel out of, it's like, am I going to drown now in this wave of opposition that is coming towards me? Where do I am not strong enough? Where am I? Just akin to a swimmer going against the tide because the tide is so powerful and a swimmer is so puny compared to that tide. How does one stand? How does one get the strength to face it? I think Kalpana ji gave a very beautiful and simple solution to our all problems also. No matter what problem is, you can remember the divine. Mother also used to say, remember and offer. That is all you have to do. Everything becomes so simple. And Alpana ji also said that there's a smile also comes to your face, even in a difficult problems will not go, but you will get something, some direction. And what is that direction? That is the core of the teaching of the Gita only. Because look at Arjuna. Arjuna has reached a point of his life where he is not able to understand, he's not able to see head or tail what is going on. He's not able to even find a ounce of purpose, ounce of direction, ounce of hope to move forward. And at that time, precisely that time, he understands that yes, Krishna, and that is where Smaran helps. At least he is turned to Krishna. Like there are different shlokas. There is one very nice one about the Smarana, about say Datta Maharaj. It is said, it is very simple. Tasya Smarana Matrena Sarva Papai Pramunchate. The Smaran itself is enough to burn all the falsehoods, all the wrongs, all the sins, everything. Smaran of the divine. If a wrongdoer remembers the right divine, means divine is always right, but if he understands that, he gets that consciousness, where will the force be to do wrong? So the Smaran is something which is very essential. But if we look at it in the light of the Gita, Arjuna had Smaran of Krishna, isn't it? He had even direct association of Krishna, companionship of Krishna, and yet he descended into a great sorrow, or he was on what we call a borderline of depression only. He had lost meaning, lost reason, lost will to live, lost direction, and lost all hope. He had fallen. That is where the Gita begins. My question is, when the divine is so powerful, when the divine is so great, and he has also promised, isn't it? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. And why is he doing? He says, I'll promise to turn the tide, is what he says. Whenever there is darkness, at all times when righteousness is at its wane, O child of light, he promises Arjuna that. And he says, this is specifically why I am coming, he says. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Since yugas, so many yugas I have been coming. I have been coming for one purpose only. It says Paritranaya sadhunam. Those nice people, the good people who are suffering, to lift them up, to remove their suffering, to destroy all that is unrighteous and falsehood, to destroy that. I keep coming. My avatar comes to turn the tide, is what Krishna is saying. And the same Krishna is the Sarathi of Arjuna, and Arjuna is getting a depression. Why? What is this? What kind of paradox is this? The one who can turn the tide of the entire universe is there next to him, and yet Arjuna is carrying clouds of sorrow. They say, na, Jako Rakhe Saiya Mar Sake na Koi. Here, Sarathi is Bhagwan Shri Krishna himself. We are all so happy just having Smarana. It is helping us ki, acha, theek hai, God is there. But now God was here in front of Arjuna, right in front of him. And yet he was experiencing this sorrow. Can someone tell me why? Anybody? Anybody? What could be the reason?
Well, he's human.
Okay.
He's got Krishna, Sri Krishna with him all the time, but sometimes one does tend to forget,
Okay.
that the divine is right next to you. We all do constantly, don't we? Like you just
Yeah.
said, something happens and we worry, and all you have to do is take the name of whichever power you believe in,
Uh,
and one does feel, the anxieties go down, and that's when you get clear-headed.
uh.
So we tend
So,
to forget that there is somebody holding our hand, but with him, it was a visual effect of the whole,
okay.
Kurukshetra, everything. So
And
it's quite
his
natural for him to forget.
So I think Shashiji said something very interesting. It is because he's human, isn't it? So we humans have a tendency to forget, isn't it? The divine's working. And probably one of the reason is the mind. I think Vijayaji just wrote, yes, mind can overshadow. No matter if he's around, our mind can overshadow. That's this is the great, what we can say, limitation, isn't it, of our human nature. We take pride in being humans because, hey, we are humans. We have a mind of our own. We are much more evolved than animals because we can think. But now sometimes it does look like our thinking is only the problem, isn't it?
Absolutely, Ji. The
It's
more
where,
the
oh,
mind,
yes, yes, Vijayaji, you were saying something. Please
the,
continue.
the more the mind, the less the Krishna.
Aha, that is a wonderful point, Vijayaji has said. The more the mind,
Less the
less,
Krishna. Less our
Less
Krishna.
our connection with the Krishna, isn't it?
Yes, Ji. The
Acha, but
moment
can
you
we
leave
just
everything.
But can we just look at this part? Because it's a very important point. Shervindo's yoga is also about transcending the mind because mind has its limitations. We take pride in the mind's ability to travel. Right now, I am in Pondicherry, but suddenly I will get a news forward that this many tariffs percentages are going to affect my exports. Immediately, mind is going to travel. It is going to travel to the country where export is going to happen, or it's going to go elsewhere. It does not need a approval of visa, no immigration checks, nothing of that sort. And mind travels so fast, it can go from North Pole to South Pole in a second. I don't have to do anything. Nothing of that sort. And yet, this same mind is a great limitation. Vijayji says that more the mind is used, the less the divine is present or less Krishna is there. Can we not look at this a bit? Vijayji, why do you think this is the case?
I take example in case we need to whatever I've learnt.
Ji.
Hiranyakashipu,
Oh,
Hiranyachan, everybody were super powers of their minds that they were able to even call for Brahma
okay.
in just such a tapas. So look at the way they control the mind, and they were super talented in such a way that even they have to be killed only by the divine. Divine has to take avatara, follow a lot of things to come and kill them. So mind is such a powerful thing which you can do easily. And the same mind when it comes to Mr. Our Hiranyakashipu's son Prahalad, the same mind, the same thing.
Okay.
But what it helped was to call Krishna, and he was able to see Vishnu everywhere, that he wasn't
So,
even scared. But these
uh,
guys who used mind a lot, called Brahma, was scared that they will be killed. Funny.
okay. Yeah, so this one is mind is using attaching to arrogance and other factors and is leading to downfall. Another person's mind only is leading to rise, isn't it?
Simple, but yet so much tapas, so much shakti, still the fear is not gone because
So
mind is dominating.
is the mind a friend or the enemy, Vijayaji?
If we are Prahalad, it is definitely our friend Ji. If we are going to be Hiranyakashipu, we are capable of the second one, probably than the first one. Yes,
Okay.
it's our hand. It is in our hand, Ji.
Okay, it is in our hand, and probably that is why Krishna says, no, in the Gita, Atmaiva Bandhur Atmana, Atmaiva Ripur Atmana. It is the friend and also the foe. It is a friend. It is a friend for that person who is controlled the pull of the lower nature, who is somebody who Gita calls Jitendra, the one who has overcome all the Indriyas. Because our mind attaches very easily to sense objects. One friend of mine says I'm very brilliant. Immediately, oh yeah, this is my friend. He's called me brilliant. Another person says you are the biggest fool. That is it. The mind got irritated. How dare he call me a fool? What is the meaning of it? So this bheda comes. So mind has this ability to divide also. Mind has the ability to easily get attached also. Look at as I think Vijayaji gave the example. Look at what happened to Hiranyakashipu. Look at Ravana. What was the need? Look at Ravana. He was having everything. And see what happened because of his so much pride that he felt his mind is everything. What he understands by his mind, by his mental logic. This is the problem of the mind actually. If you see the limitation of mind is the logic of the mind. I think in we had learned, I think everybody, have you heard of this Boolean logic? I think or binaries. Yes, Vijayaji?
Boolean logic is yes or no. Is that way, Ji?
Yes, yes, it is like a binary, 0, 1, 0, 1, binary only. Either this or that, either this or that. We can say black or white. But is the world only black or white, or we have so many colors also, so many shades also, isn't it?
Definitely,
And
Ji. The
white
moment
light is a
we
combination of all the colors. When you blend all the colors together, it becomes white light. So
definitely.
if we recognize that the mind has to become like as Vijayaji shared about like Prahlada, we want to make our mind as divine as Bhakta Prahlada, then we will have to share this, what we call the binaries, the limitations of our logic. When we are, because I think, look at, I think how Shashiji just shared, Arjuna saw around him a ground situation. His mental understanding said, hey, I am having 5 lakh less soldiers on my side. I am having so less people on this side. That side has more experience and they are my teachers. Now nothing, there is no possibility. I don't understand. Nothing can work according to this logic. And he is holding on to his own logic. And in that he is getting lost. And that is exactly how Maya operates. Krishna says this. He says, Devi Yesha Gunamayir Maya. It works through gunas. Gunas are what? They are the three gunas. We have the Sattva, Raja, and Tamas. It is like a universal operating system functioning inside all of us. I might be very calm at this moment because probably Sattva Guna is dominating. But just like that, like I said, a friend of mine says, "This is the worst fool I have seen on earth. Useless person, this person, I know everything about him. He is so and so." Immediately, if I start reacting with my mind, I try to negate and immediately start. What is going to happen? I'll lose the sattva guna, I will get attached to what is the rajo guna. Or I consider that person's word as a pramana or evidence. I will go into sorrow of tamas. Ki, oh no, what has happened? I am the worst person in this world because he has said, I believe that person says whatever he says is true. And I will go into a tamasic depression because these are the three gunas, and this is one of the factors of this entire world. We don't understand it. Suddenly, somebody feels I am so powerful, and with my logic, I am going to make the other person bend. Suddenly the entire scenario changes. Currently, it happens everywhere. It happens not on just an individual level, it happens even on cosmic level. These forces, which are the sattva, raja, and tamas, they work on individuals, they work on bodies and organizations and institutions and even countries. World orders change rapidly. Someone tries something one place, another person tries another thing, but ultimately there is something which is beyond the gunas. That is the divine. But unless the divine is understood, or if a person just attaches to the gunas, we have seen even sattva guna has its limitation. Many times people use this word, too good to be true. Or this person is lost because of his goodness only, because I will not get angry. I will not speak a word because today is the day I have to be quiet. If somebody is doing something wrong, some injustice is happening, if I don't raise my voice, I don't speak out what is required, then where is it? What is going to happen? Just, no, no, I don't want to sound bad or sound rough. Sometimes we have to speak what is right. We have to stand by it. Arjuna had to stand, isn't it? He says, no, no, I cannot fight my teachers, so I'm going to die. That is all he says. There, Krishna has to tell him. He explains to him, he says, your job is not to be trapped in either sattva or raja or tamas. You have to go to a state which is said to be higher than what is our mental limitation of logic. They call it the state of the gunatita. That is what Krishna is. He is beyond the gunas because one person can become gunatita, or then you can actually go into a state of what is the state of ananda. Because if you are trapped by your gunas, we are always going to be in a karmic chain of action and reaction. No matter one sad situation has come, I have reacted according to it, maybe pushed myself out of it, and another situation is going to come in. Again, I'm going to try according to my logic and face it, still not get a solution. It will be a cycle and continuously till I am exhausted and I have no energy to face. Best example I can think of is a friend in college. He became, I would not say yogi, but something similar to yogi after having so many n number of failed relationships. Because first he thought this person is having a problem, next that person has a problem, then the other person has a problem. And every time he invested a lot of his energies in those relationships. And every time pointing his finger at the other person. Somewhere he then felt, isn't this a pattern? As how Alpnaji was saying, sometimes we recognize this pattern. He recognized a pattern. He said, maybe the problem is not there. The problem is inside. That was the realization. And that allowed him to, bring a big change, a change in his own personality. And that helped him come out of that cycle. Krishna says in the Gita, Devi Yesha Gunamair Maya. दुरत्यया मामेव ये prapadyante maya metam taranti te. Means this is maya of this sansara, of this world. It traps every single person and it operates through gunas. Gunas are everywhere. Every single person, every day, every point. It's like as if a software has been embedded into us without our consent. It has been installed. We are going to be working according to it only. Each person has a swabhava only. We are going to be according to that. This each person goes according to swabhava, like the Hindi phrase, chor chori se jaye, hera feri se nahi. Thief will go by his route of theft only. He will not try to make some great other frauds, something like that. This aspect inside each of us, we have a swabhava. And sometimes, while the swabhava helps us, but when we are using our mind, what will we do? We will analyze everything from the level of the mind. And that becomes the biggest danger. Meaning, divine keeps certain things in divine will show us the way, but our mind will say this is not the way. You make a mistake, divine will show you that you have done something wrong, but the mind will say, no, I have not done anything. Yes, it is not like that. This is how divine is actually saying this. Divine wants me to do this, so it's just going to be what we call, have you heard of this word called echo chamber? Anybody? The echo chamber, living in an echo chamber. Anybody? Many times people, like, look at, just think about it. What do we hear in a chamber? When echo, what do we hear when we hear echoes? Whose voice do we hear?
It's the soul.
Our
Yes,
own voice, no?
yes, our own voice actually. Alpana ji has said the same thing. We hear the same voice again. You go to sometimes echo points where you give a scream, you will hear back your own voice. Something like that. We all, many times, sometimes unknowingly, because we are trapped by the mind, we are not willing to understand any truth which is beyond the understanding of the mind, of our mind, I would say, not the divine's consciousness. At that time, Vijayji wants to add something. You're most welcome, ji. Please.
No, Ji, I
Uh,
was about to tell that echo point. Thing else.
Okay, all right. Yes, Shashiji is adding something?
I just wanted to say that the way I look at it, the bottom line is that we've all been given how shall I put it, free will.
Yeah,
So whatever we do, good or bad, like you said, we have a choice. Yes, no. If you say yes, again, we have a choice which way to go. So free will. So whatever we think, whatever we do, we bear the consequences of it. And the idea is to learn from it, to evolve,
yeah,
like you
yeah,
said.
yeah.
And that is
Yes,
what it is. So God will
yes,
never interfere because He gave you that free
yeah,
will. Unless
yes,
you
yes.
ask Him,
Yes, and it has to be a sincere ask, isn't it? It should not be like an echo.
it
Am I
has to
not?
be.
No rhetorical questions, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
we used to have an advocate's serial on the TV. He would ask a question: Am I right or am I right? Because that was his final point. Because when he had presented all the evidences, now I cannot be wrong. That was his
Mm.
final, what we call the punchline. But many times in our life, am I right or am I right is only what happens because of the mind. Something happens, an experience comes, but the mind comes in between the understanding and realization of the experience. It interprets it, distorts it, and sometimes presents it as an altogether different experience. It's like that time the soul cries because the soul understands, the psychic being understands that the experience has come from the divine. But the mind comes and deflects it or completely distorts it. What divine can be experienced is lost. And that is the parda of Maya. That is actually the what veil of Maya which prevents us from understanding. And Krishna says this is a divine Maya. It's not ordinary. Engulfs every single being. It is called Gunamayir Maya because it is going to understand and attach through your own understanding of likes and dislikes. What you prefer, your preferences, a situation. This is my nature. According to my nature, something is going to happen. And I'm going to just interpret it exactly. That will not be the truth always. That is what we call echo chambers. So in echo chambers, we cannot hear the divine. Krishna says, Maya metam tarantite. You have to break and pierce through that Maya and come to me. It's a very difficult one. And again, if you think you have to do it, like how Vijayji said, if you think you are the doer, you have to only do everything. Again, that is a big trap. It's like a quicksand. You think you're going ahead, but you're actually going in circles. And for that, the simplest solution is what everybody has pointed out, the smarana of the divine, a complete, full, true surrender, a sincere surrender. It's like we must learn to take a feedback from the divine also sometimes. God is giving us feedback. We are not taking it because it is not to our liking, it is not to our preference. If you get hints, God's there's a language, there are languages. The divine speaks to us not always on direct Vani. There are so many levels, there are so many ways of communication beyond just the verbal. There is non-verbal, there is the world of, the signs and world of the omens and so many indications. If you are, I think when you go to a road also, say you are traveling, looking at the traffic, you can understand what type of day it is for you. You can get a small hint. Oh my God, if you are conscious, you can see, oh, today looks like a little bit chaotic day. Looks like I better be on my alert. We get some feedbacks many times from the divine at different points, at different times. Problem is we don't take it because we don't want feedback. We start speaking. It's like going on a monologue, no? It is if somebody goes on, if you and your friend go for a talk and they say, let's talk about this, and you're going to say, have an in-depth discussion about something. But you are not allowed to speak, and your friend goes on talking. How will you feel? Forget how you feel. Our feelings are not so important. But will that be a constructive dialogue towards a higher truth, or it will just be that person living in that person's thoughts only? It will be that. And that is what happens most places. People don't listen, people don't speak. Let us forget about people right now. We have to focus on the divine and we have to focus on us. Because it's very easy to point out somebody else's fault and flaw. So easy. Make a small mistake, 100 people will jump and tell you, see, this is where you fail. This is what is wrong. This is what is wrong inside. Some people use it to their advantage also. They purposely make mistakes and get the attention that they need. That is used in marketing strategies these days. Because the nature of human being to correct another person is so, it's again nature of the mind. But but if you look at the how Kabir Das is given the dohe, बुरा जो देखन मैं चला बुरा न मिलिया कोई जो दिल खोजा अपना मुझसा बुरा न कोई. Oh, I went in search of people with faults. I found none. Then I saw inside and I found none worse than me. All the faults are inside, is what he said. In the sense, he is not berating himself, but he's understanding that no, I have to become better. This is the knowledge, this is the realization. And this realization is what Krishna says. He says, Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram na vidyate. Or elsewhere, Jnanagni dagdha karmanam bhasmasat kurte Arjuna. The fire of knowledge, it is a fire which will burn. This is the same fire which is the Agni of the Rig Veda. This is the fire of knowledge. And this knowledge burns all vice, all ignorance. Imagine somebody going through the worst period of life, and that worst period also, that person's fire of knowledge suddenly gets lit. Will that person not receive the strength to face that difficulty? Will that person not be blessed with the clarity? Krishna has promised that clarity to every seeker. He says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam. I will give you that. I will give you that knowledge. And when the divine gives you, that realization is your realization, which you can take as a prasada, not what your mind gives you. We must understand the mind has to be kept aside. Mind is not enough. Sri Aurobindo also talks about that. And that is why in the Gita we see a triple path. Anybody can share the triple path? What are the three paths which are not really means ways of going beyond the mind? Krishna is talking to Arjuna also in the Gita. Yes, anybody?
Is it Rajas, Tamas, and Sattvaji?
So they are the gunas,
Okay,
Vijayaji.
Gunas. Okay.
But the ways of yoga, they say. Alpana ji,
Yeah.
yes, please.
Bhakti yoga, karma yoga, and jnana yoga. I'll be talking about these
Okay,
three.
yeah, these are the three yogas. And if you look at the order in the Gita also, no, first introduction is for which yoga? Anybody?
Karma yoga, I think.
Absolutely, perfectly. It
Mm.
is Karma Yoga because the first understanding will come through actions only. If you don't do actions of Tyaga, if you do not do any action sincerely, they will be not ready for realizing. If you want to transcend the mind, all right, fine, that is good. But first, transcend your personal limitations. First, work on the body. Krishna says, Idam Shariram Kaunteya, from ground onwards. So, first is the Karma Yoga. After that,
Bhakti yoga.
no, actually, after that is the
Jnana
Jnana
yoga.
Marga
Oh, so
in the
sorry.
Gita. Yeah, no, no,
Okay.
no problem. And again, when Jnana Yoga start, does not mean Karma Yoga is getting dissolved into Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga ceases to exist. Krishna gives that Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, this great knowledge, which is the divine knowledge. He says it is the secret of secrets. But that knowledge also you have to keep receiving and keep going ahead. Means Mam Phaleshu Kadachanam Karmanye Vadhikarasya, as Krishna says, do you have the authority to do your action? You have to keep doing the action. Your sadhana will keep going on ahead. And the knowledge starts coming, and there are different ways of the knowledge coming. And then when knowledge comes also, like you see, Arjuna receives a darshana of the divine itself. You see, that level of progression is there in Arjuna, and then he receives a darshana. After receiving darshana, normally what happens? People have a tendency, I have seen it now. Don't tell me. Don't tell me what's to be done. I have already got it. I have seen it all. I know it all. No, Krishna had to teach Arjuna bhakti after giving darshana. Normally, people say, I've got vision of the God. What is going to happen after vision of God? Nothing. If I have eaten very spicy food after vision of God, I will have trouble in my stomach. That is not going to change. How am I going to live? What is the way Krishna has to teach Arjuna the way of bhakti after the darshana? Meaning the bhakti comes equally important. That culmination is there, and then Krishna talks about ultimately becoming one with the divine. I mean, this is the central, progression in the Gita itself. Not that these three are exclusive. Means somebody who says I am specifically originated, I am thinking about karma only. Karma yoga. There's no need to receive knowledge. There is no need for this. For me now, this is the only. There is no compartment, isn't it? That you cannot make any compartment. It has to keep growing integrally. That is what Sri Aurobindo also talks about. A complete integral progress. And here, so if we see initially this marga of karma, Krishna is saying, he says, Swadharmat nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayava. It is okay if you die for standing by your karma and doing your duties. Same is said even in the great Vedantic scriptures also. Kurvanneveha karmani jijivisheshatam sama. Upanishads are meant for realization of the Brahman, the highest realization that is possible. The realization of the divine is the Brahma Vidya, and that is the knowledge of the Brahman. And that is what Vedanta is teaching, and that also is talking about karma only. So karmas cannot be ignored just because, say, I may have done X, Y, Z things. It is not going to make any difference. Many times this is the because of the mind, because of that people have this habit of compartmentalizing things. This is this, that is not this. Krishna talks about it, Sri Aurobindo also talks about it. He talks about the Advitiya. Ekameva Dvitiyam Brahma Sadasada Rupam Sadasadatitam. That Brahman which is one, which is Advitiya, which is not two, that oneness has to be realized. It has to be realized through actions. It has to be realized through works. That is number one. Then it has to be realized through knowledge. Somebody cannot just hide because I'm doing good deeds or right actions or morally correct things. That does not mean I have to move away from the path of knowledge, the flame of knowledge. Your works have to be consumed by that fire of jnana. Then you will see what transformations take place. That would be the real yogi. And then comes the devotion aspect also, the bhakti. Bhakti for the divine, which comes naturally. Do we need to be taught to love our mother? Anybody? Do children go to school and then you should talk to this way to your mother, you should speak like this, you should respect and love. And do students need to be taught this?
Nowadays, you do.
Nowadays, why is that, Shashiji?
Well, it all depends. Well, I live in this part of the world, and some of the things they show, the way they treat their teachers, youngsters, the way they talk to them. Some of them go to the age of 8 or 10. So it
Hmm?
makes you wonder if this is how they're talking to their teacher. What are
Hmm.
they? How are they talking to their parents?
Ah. So this can be what we call a. You're talking about the West, isn't it? Where in your area which you have seen or some place you have witnessed more or everywhere?
Yes, but I'm sure the world is such a small place now that I'm
Ah,
sure it's
it's
catching up everywhere, especially in the big cities. You know,
in the
you
Yes,
big
I
get in.
agree with
cities.
Shashiji. Yes, I agree with you,
In the
Shashiji.
big cities, okay.
It
So,
Yeah.
happens
but
here in Mumbai also. I have
in
seen kids.
Mumbai also, okay. So
Yes,
it's
yes,
not
very
just
much.
outside of Bharat, inside of
No,
Bharat
no.
also we are seeing it is a Vaishvik
The,
phenomenon. But why is it in big cities then,
uh,
mostly?
The
I'm not sure.
influence is greater, isn't it?
We are probably broken from the rhythm of nature, isn't it? In the
Yes.
bigger cities, where if you see the smaller cities, people are more connected with, like for example, now our factory we have it is in a village. In the village, we have a where it's like everybody knows everybody. Everybody goes around
Precisely.
and it's a man just saw me there. I was going on the bike with my wife. He said, "Welcome. This is good. You are showing our village." And it almost appeared like he was a landlord in owning the entire fields. In reality, he has no field of his own. But the way he called it ours, you're showing it. This is our place. This is this. This is this. He was having that oneness. I'm saying is it will naturally this aspect of love no will come naturally. The bhakti also for the divine will come naturally. Why I just talked about means yes, maybe there's a sanskara which is happening, which is connecting, disconnecting. It is like Maya, isn't it? Children are
Hmm.
learning that they are getting what they want through devices. The love that they need, which has to come from somewhere else. Sometimes another side is not ready to connect with them or understand or something. A kind of connect is somewhere it is being lost. But if that connection is done, if that mother is able to give a love which is so beautiful that the child only, oh ma, you are here. Because why will a child want to not be with the mother or father who is loving and caring? It is very less likely. But something has happened. Some kind of there is a break in that connection. That has to be explored by every individual. Now we are while we are not discussing about particular societal as problem at this moment, this same connection of love with the divine also sometimes there's a cross connection. The bhakta also starts demanding things from God or is forming such relations where devotion is lost, and that is why devotion has to be re-established. But I hope, for the sake of the world, that good connections between the parents and children develop. But for that, we'll have to take some conscious actions, definitely. But if you look at in light of the Gita's moment, devotion is placed as the highest pedestal. Look at that yogi. Who is that yogi? He's not someone who does not have difficulties. A yogi might have actually more difficulties than an ordinary individual. Can someone tell me why this can be said, such a statement, that a yogi may have more difficulties than an ordinary individual?
He doesn't have a plan for the next moment.
Okay, that is
S-
so he's not prepared and he can't work. Is that what you are saying, Vijayaji? So this,
His main motto is not to get prepared or not to save something for the future and take the
but
life as it is.
I don't know. Janaka was very prepared and he did work for the future of his entire kingdom, actually, not just himself.
Okay, so yogi, I thought you were mentioning about people who are yogis at this point of time, like people in Tiruvannamalai. So I was imagining people like them.
No, but Krishna's yogi I'm talking about because
Okay,
Krishna
I
says
understood.
Tasmad yogi bhava Arjuna. He says, Arjuna, I want to be a yogi.
Got it,
And
Ji.
Arjuna is not going to open any yoga meditation center in Kurukshetra. He is going to pick up his Gandiva and going to attack his opponents. But Krishna is saying Tasmad Yogi Bhava Arjuna. But this statement, I just because the statement that I made, it can be wrong, so we can explore it. Is yogis probably have it more difficult to become a yogi of Krishna. It is a little bit more difficult than to become what I call bhogi.
True, Ji.
Why is
Leave,
that?
leave alone yogi, to my knowledge, it's very difficult to answer. But what I have understood in this short journey is the moment you start focusing more on Krishna, do a lot of Namajapa, I don't know how, somewhere something comes and you completely forget. If I don't
Uh,
focus and just casually do this and that, I at least do a little more than what I generally do. But the
mhm.
moment you start focusing karma and you have to do this very conscious, somehow I missed the things. So I was thinking like Krishna can't let anybody come near him until we qualify to some level.
Okay. Okay.
So I was thinking that way. So every time we fall, he is happy. So I again go to that fighting mode.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Vijayani, that's a nice experience you are sharing from your personal life. So this is exactly what it is because you are conscious. You are now going to be more concerned about your action. You do not want to do anything wrong. Krishna says, Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Doing work perfectly is always a challenge, isn't it? Just doing some work which is done half-heartedly, it's easy to finish it and go on or escape. But if you are doing it like the way Krishna wants, then it is a challenge. And so it is always challenging. Arjuna is always going to be outnumbered. The side on the right is always going to look less compared to the unrighteous side. The might of the ones who are standing for a good cause will always appear it is difficult. It will always appear that you have to now swim against the tide. But then, when you have a great swimming instructor like Krishna, that is no problem at all. You don't have to worry. He is going to lift you, He is going to move you through what? Well, not just tide to the entire ocean of life only. Mrityu Sansara Sagara. Krishna says, I am going to lead you across this. What janma, what mrityu, what jara, what marana, what moksha. He says, moksha ishyami mashucha. He says, don't worry. I will give that moksha to you. Why are you worried about it? It's not your responsibility. Should I be worried at this moment about diplomatic ties between India and, say, any other country at this moment? No, no,
No.
I'm not sure. Because what can I do? It's not my job right now. Right now I can probably pray to the divine. Because divine, I believe, is the real Adipati of everything. We say Jana Gana Mana. He is the Bhagya Vidhata of Bharat. So he is going to look up. That's his job. It's not my, work SOP to worry about it. Like that, if we recognize that the divine is our leader, divine is our guide. Swimming against the tide is going to be fun because you are going to be carried by the divine. Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vaham yaham. He says, I will take you across your entire life's journey. Yoga, yes, your yoga also, your kshema also, your path of yoga also, your life also, material life, spiritual life, everything. It's my responsibility. I'm going to take you across. That is his promise. That is one beautiful promise which the divine has been keeping. So say all those bhaktas who have got that experience that my entire life. And these bhaktas, in a sense, they have lived an entire life also. In the end, you ask them, they smile and say, see, this journey that I had in this life, this long life I've lived, I didn't do anything in this life. And the person may have done so many huge things, but it's a smile and a contented smile of realization, and with means there is karma also. Great karma yogis who have got great realizations, yet they have that bhakti to understand that I have not done anything. It was the divine. Look at all of these things that happened. In my right mind, I would never have done any of this because my mind is limited and the divine got it done through me. Naham karta, harihi karta. That is the bhava. That bhava is something which is the essence of the Gita, and that is why the Gita is such a special scripture. Because if this one particular principle comes inside of our life, the hurry, the fluctuations, the frustrations, what is happening, I want to manifest. Sometimes it is like people are worried because of their attachment. Somebody worries what's going to happen to my life. I wanted this, my dreams, what are going to happen? Sometimes somebody is like, okay, I don't care about my dreams, I care about my friends' dreams. I care about my children's dreams. I care about somebody else's. These are all what we call outsourced attachments, isn't it? If not personal attachments, we are still outsourcing them. And yet they are going to bring us down. They're not going to help the other person also. It's just like, say, if your friend is there in a swimming pool and that person is drowning, and your friend holds on to you and pulls you down, what help is going to be there? Isn't it? Many swimming instructors, sometimes the first thing is they do is they hold the person by the neck and push that person's head above the water so that person will stop being a dead weight and pull the instructor down. And then the next step is done. It is something like that. If we were to just look at our today's, it was inspired from Sri Aurobindo's essays on the Gita, the chapter on what is the core of the teaching of the Gita. Well, the core of the teaching, as Sri Aurobindo also says, it is this movement from Karma Yoga towards Jnana Yoga, and from there towards Bhakti Yoga, and ultimately going into that higher stage where we realize that the divine is there. Because the Gita also ends there because Krishna ultimately says an extra part of the Gita to Arjuna because he says, you are my bhakta, see, may he is or my sakha, you are my beloved lover. So I will give you a little extra. He says, then he adds this principle, Sarva Dharman Parityaje Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Mashacha. Means he says, don't worry, moksha is yours, that is my responsibility. But yours is to forget all, even your dharmas, meaning it is a pati dharma, patni dharma, putra dharma, or rashtra dharma, all dharmas you have to forget in light of the divine, your dharma towards the divine, because each soul is connected with the divine. We have been born, though we have maybe raised by different people, we may be loved by different people. Each person will have so much we receive. No, as human beings, we are actually a very vulnerable species. We can't grow on our own. We are not Swayambhu. Each and every stage of our life, we have received love and we have grown with that love. But instead of using that and then trying to cash it or try to encourage and encash it by making new attachments, Krishna is saying, Sarva Dharman Parityaje Mamekam Sharanam Raj. Offer it to that divine. There is one. My mother is one. That is the divine mother. My father is one. त्वमेव माता पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव. A simple understanding, if we carry it, no, we will not be worried. Will not be worried also, and we will be walking on the right path. Because everywhere we say mother is best, father is best, all of it, but everybody is human also, no? Then when we say Mata, Pita, Guru, Deva, yes, this is what they order. But if then they make the mistake, then that part, what do we do? People get so confused. One person, a friend of mine, he says, I don't understand this. My own enemy is my at home only. What should I do? I said, you're not going to burn your home. You're not going to take an arrow and start fighting. Instead, be like the Raja Hamsa, separate, no, separate the milk and water. What is attachment, what is not required, you don't have to, you have to recognize that the divine is one. The divine is the mother, the divine is the father. Arjuna also gets that realization when he sees the Vishwarupan, he has tears in his eyes. He says, you are the pita for the one who is an orphan, somebody who is all alone and has nobody. He says, you are that parent, you are that lover. You are the one, you are the friend, you are the companion, you are the sakshi, you are the means witness, you are the refuge also, you are the shelter, you are the one who takes everything ahead also. So that entire bhava comes, and probably Gita is for this particular reason only why we have to study, to realize our own individual connect with the divine, because it is high time we all as individuals get connected with the, what we can say, perfect way that we can with the divine, so that the divine may manifest whatever the plan is. And a big plan is unfolding. The divine is continuously working on it. It's quite a dynamic action. We don't realize it, but that is exactly what we must aspire for. So I think with this, we are ready to complete. If anybody has any query, anything you wish to ask or share, you are welcome. If you wish to add or share something, otherwise we conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Yes, please. All right. In that case, we conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna. Pudarmilava. See you next Wednesday again.
Thank you, Ji.
Hari Om.
Namaste.
Thank you, Ji.
Thank you.
Namaste,
Hari
Ji.
Om.
Thank
Jai
you.
Shri
Hari
Krishna.
Om, Ji. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri
Hari Om.
Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Hari Om.
Hare
Jai Shri Krishna. Hari Om.